Henry Cobb with yet another attempt at the Dragon Rider Challenge for the Fantasy Trip exercises, March 7th, 2020. And what I've done is I've revised a little bit on the characters here. Lady Mildred has now got a stone flesh ring and more power behind her, and the spearmen have been replaced with halberdiers, but otherwise it's basically the same setup. So let's see how this goes. The goblin lady gets purple, and the human scum who are invading her home get white. Who has initiative? Tide. And humans have initiative. Tell the dragon lady, hey, you move first. Alright, her move is to stand absolutely still, which they don't expect. So their move is they're going to explore up here very cautiously. There's a dragon around here somewhere. So everyone moves up one. And for her turn, she's going to cast Secret Protection Reverse Missiles on the Dragon. That's a 4-point spell, so she's going to take 4 points of power and apply that to this on 12 or less. With a 13, that fails and costs her 1 point of power. Alright, and then nothing much happens on turn 1. So turn 2, we again roll for initiative. And the dragon lady has it and says to the humans, you move. And they're gonna hold their ground here. They don't know what's gonna come on. And so she again stays in place and tries that same trick. Reverse missiles on the dragon. Yay, she can smell those crossbows. And with a 9, this time it works. So that costs her, reverse missiles cost, let's see. Should have all this stuff memorized. Alright. Reverse missiles. It costs 2 plus 1. So that means that's 8 right off the bat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9 of the 12 mana is used up. Power is used up. And so now turn 3. Who has initiative? Now she does. And again tells the humans to move first. Well, they see that dragon there. They're not budging. Alright. At this point, she's going to move into view. And let's see, that's definitely jab range. Oh yeah, and maintaining her spell costs her another 4 points. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the power stone is completely dried up, and she's down a point of mana just for that one spell. All right. Now, who has the highest dex here? It's the crossbowmen with their adjusted dex. So this guy is going to take a shot here, and the lady's choosing. Let's see. The lady's choosing to be in the rear hex. So that means that's actually a pretty clean shot, and so I'll allow it through the grain. So 14 or less for Brown to hit. That's a hit. And then reverse missile takes effect, and he suffers a 2-die attack to himself for 6 points. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. That doesn't drop him over or anything, but he's very annoyed with this. Black understands that a reverse missile on the dragon also applies to the dragon lady, so he's not going to shoot either. So now we just have these two jabbing attacks. and the dragon has got his own capabilities. So he's going to use the expanded flame techniques that I've developed. And so let's see. No, it doesn't have. If he could bounce it off a wall properly, it would help him. But in this case, it's not going to help him any. So it's the lady who comes here at Dex 12, and she's going to do a 7 hex fire. She's just burning through her capabilities, isn't she? So 7 hex fire. Here we go. And let's see. Oh, wait a second. She's back there. So it only applies to that mega hex. Nope, she can't do it this turn because she's too far back. All right. So now, turn 4. Who has initiative? Oh yeah. Oh, wait a second. First, these jabbing attacks. So yellow jabs at the dragon. Needs 11 or less to do just the 2 dice for the halberd. That's a hit. 4 points. 1 into the dragon. And green here pokes the dragon. And with a 14 is a clear miss. All right. So now turn 4. Who has initiative? All right, and so she's going to maintain her nasty little spell here, which is really burning into her mana reserves, and she has to move first. So she's going to shift up 1, which is definitely not a charge attack, and engage the halberdiers there. The crossbow men are backing off. They'll have their chance. They know she can't maintain this indefinitely because it's just too darn expensive. All right, and their move is shift to there. They're still both in front hexes for the dragon. All right, dragon has no good linear shots from this particular hex. Boop. And bounce, boop, boop. Hardly worth it. So he's just going to claw. Alright, the crossbowmen are holding fire because of the situation. The dragon gets his claw attack on yellow here. So 13 less to hit for 2 dice minus 2. And the halberdier has no protection at the moment. He's unarmored. Alright, that's a hit for 2 hits on yellow. But a scratch. Alright, the halberdiers were at 11. So now she's going to do her 7 hexes of fire. Holy moly, 7 hexes of fire. Here we go, 12 or less. And the 13, that's clearly a miss, and another point of mana down. Alright. And now the halberdiers have got ordinary attacks. And so yellow is a hit on the dragon for 8 minus 3 is 5. Oops. Your win is halberd. Alright, and green also hits for 7 minus 3 is 4. Halberd picks up. You can see it's a spear with a little blade attached. Alright. Turn 5. This is ridiculously expensive to maintain reverse missiles on Dragon. Alright, the Dragon Lady has to move first, and she's going to take, let's see, 1. Alright, so it's any... So he's going to do a shift turn here onto these hexes. Alright, now this guy gets pushed, is going to, yellow is trying to maintain his footing. He does so and steps to the rear. Yep, steps directly to the rear, and green (14) falls, and she's going to not maintain. Well, let's see, maintain it one more turn. There's those nasty crossbows that are staring right at her. So one more turn. 4. All right, so green has fallen over here. And now, the crossbow guys step back 1 and 1. They don't know what's going on here. They're probably gonna, let's see, what's their reaction roll? Well, their IQ roll. Do they figure out what she's doing? Yeah, they think that she's able to maintain it. All right. So, green is underfoot and is going to get trampled. So here we go. It's only 1d plus 1 because this is a wimp. The dragons are wimpy. What can we say? All right. So, but here, yellow gets a strike first. He's got a +4 for being in the rear. You get a 15 to shove the halberd up the dragon's rear. Yes, that's a hit. 4. 6 minus 3 is 3. Dragon is definitely hurting. And now, the dragon's turn. Trample on green. Ooh, that's a 17. Hurt himself for 1 die damage. Armor does not protect. Ouch, you got a thorn in my halberd. Oops, 6 hits. Now, claw on green. That's a hit. For 7 points, no, 5 points of damage, and there's no particular armor here. 2, 3, 4, 5. And a tail swipe on yellow. There we go. Roll to hit. Is 13, exactly a hit. And now yellow needs an 11 or less to stay afoot. And he fails. They all fall down. All right, now green is looking a little hurt, so the lady's going to do an occult staff strike, which is going to cost her 1 mana, whatever she does. So she's almost out of mana. So occult staff strike on green here. That's a hit. 4. She has just the staff 4, right? No, staff 3. How wimpy. Alright, so that takes all her attention. So there we go. On green, Cult Staff Strike, 2 points. And ignores armor, which he doesn't have any anyway. So, alright, now green is stunned for -2 dex and is going to try a 3 dex roll to get to his feet. I think that's allowed at this point. Yep. And he stands up. Now let's see, the dragon is in precisely those hexes. He was there, so he goes back to there. Alright. And then she's really not realistically going to be able to maintain reverse missiles next turn, and the dragon's going to go down from crossbow bolts. So yeah, even at this point, I think I called it. There's no reasonable way to protect a dragon. They're just too wimpy.